You're trying to raise a smart child, so you think about school. Which one? How early? How to prepare them? You buy the books, you download the apps, you wonder if they're keeping up. In Finland, parents don't think about any of that. Not because they don't care about their children's intelligence, because they understand something about it that the West hasn't figured out yet. A Finnish child of 6 walks to school alone. -10 degrees, hood up, backpack on, nobody brings him. 2 streets away, a Western parent idles outside the school gate, window down, one last kiss, watching until the door closes. Finland starts formal school later than almost every country in the world. Children don't sit in a formal classroom until they are 7 years old. And Finnish 15-year-olds outperform nearly every country on earth in reading, mathematics, and science. What are Finnish children actually doing in those extra years? Because whatever it is, it's working. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Finland is small. It's different. This doesn't apply to us, and I hear that. But here's what the research keeps showing. The principles behind the Finnish approach aren't cultural quirks, they're neurobiological facts. A Finnish child's brain and your child's brain work exactly the same way. What differs is what each child is allowed to do in the first 7 years of life. By the end of this video, you'll understand what that is. Why it produces smarter, more resilient children than almost anything we're doing in the West. And what you can start doing tonight. Stay with me. A daycare in Helsinki, November. 20 children, 4 and 5 years old. This is not a classroom. There are no worksheets on the tables. No alphabet on the wall. No teacher at the front with a lesson plan. In Finland, children this age don't go to school. They go to favour. State-subsidized, play-based early childhood care where the day has no academic agenda. And in favour, the day looks like this. 3 children are building a dam in a sandpit near the window. One girl is trying to redirect water with a stick. It isn't working. She tries a different angle, still not working. She looks at the problem for a long moment, picks up a second stick, and tries again. Nobody helps her. Nobody suggests a better way. The teacher watches from across the room and waits. That's leikki. In Finnish, leikki means free play, but not play as a reward for finishing the real work. In Finland, leikki is the real work. Unstructured, self-directed, without adult agenda or predetermined outcome. And here's the thing. While that girl is redirecting water with 2 sticks, she is simultaneously training, planning, impulse control, problem solving, and emotional regulation. These are called executive functions. And they are. According to decades of developmental research, the single strongest predictor of academic success, not in the next year, across an entire lifetime, which is why leikki isn't preparation for school. It is the preparation. In the West, we've built the opposite system: reading apps, phonics programs, educational toys with correct answers built in. But a longitudinal study from the University of Cambridge followed children in early academic programs versus play-based environments. At age 7, the academic children appeared to be ahead. At age 11, the gap had disappeared. At age 15, the play-based children scored significantly higher on comprehension, motivation, and independent thinking. The early push didn't create smarter children. It created more anxious ones. Children who learn to wait for the right answer instead of finding their own. So here's what this looks like tonight. 1 hour, no screen, no goal, no guidance. Let your child be bored. Boredom is not the absence of learning. It is the invitation to it. But leikki works best in one specific environment, and it's one that most Western parents have been quietly removing from their children's days without realizing it. A Finnish primary school. 8 degrees below zero. The bell rings. Children pull on their coats and walk outside. Not for a PE lesson, just for the break. 15 minutes, every day, without exception. In Finland, there is a saying that has no direct English translation. There is no bad weather, only bad clothing. Ulkoilu, daily outdoor life, not as an activity the child earns or a treat for good behavior, as a biological given. As non-negotiable as eating or sleeping. And here's the thing, that 15 minutes in -8 degrees is not a break from learning. It is learning. When a child moves through cold air, climbs an uneven surface, or runs without a fixed destination, something measurable happens in the brain. Cortisol drops, dopamine rises. The prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for focus, decision-making, and emotional regulation, resets. In the West, outdoor time is the first thing cut when academic pressure builds. Rainy day? Stay inside. Exams coming? No time for the park. Finland does the exact opposite. The more demanding the schoolwork becomes, the more fiercely outdoor time is protected. Researchers at the University of Illinois studied children with attention difficulties after 20 minutes walking in a park versus 20 minutes in an urban environment. After the park, concentration scores improved significantly. The effect was comparable in size to stimulant medication, no prescription required. So here's the shift. Outside before homework, 20 minutes, whatever the weather. But ulkoilu and leikki are about what you give a child. What comes next is about something harder, something Finnish parents do that most Western parents find almost impossible. It starts with a child falling down in the snow, and a parent who doesn't move. Watch him again! The same child from the beginning of this video, minus 10 degrees, alone on the pavement. He catches his foot on a curb, falls, lands hard on both palms, looks up, nobody saw it. Nobody is coming. He looks at his hands for a moment. Stands up, adjusts his backpack, walks on. Sisu. There is no English word for it. The closest translation might be something like inner fire. The quiet will to continue when there is no audience, no reward, and no end in sight. But even that doesn't capture it. Sisu is not resilience as a concept. It is resilience as a physical fact. Something Finns believe lives in the body, not the mind. And here's the thing. Finnish parents don't teach sisu. They don't explain it or reward it. They create the conditions for it to grow, by stepping back, by resisting the pull toward the child the moment something goes wrong. In the West, we intervene. Child stumbles, we catch them. Child struggles, we guide them. Child fails, we soften the landing. Every time, out of love. But every intervention also carries a message the child didn't ask to receive. This is too much for you. Finnish parents send the opposite message, not through words, through stillness. Marty Rossman at the University of Minnesota tracked children for 25 years into adulthood. The strongest predictor of adult resilience and success was not intelligence, not family income. It was whether the child had learned early to navigate difficulty without an adult solving it for them. 3 to 4 years old. That is when it starts to matter. And this is where the question from the beginning of this video finally closes. What are Finnish children doing in those extra years before school? They are playing without being directed. They are going outside without being protected from the cold. And they are falling down and getting back up without being rescued. Not because Finnish parents are cold, because they trust something most Western parents are still learning to trust, that a child who handles small difficulties becomes a child who can handle larger ones. So here's what this looks like in practice. 3 things. The first is the unstructured hour. 1 hour a day without a screen, a goal, or a guiding adult. Let your child find the problem themselves. The second is outside first. 20 minutes outdoors before homework or screen time. The brain that comes back inside is worth the wet coat. The third is the deliberate pause. Once a day, when your child struggles with something manageable, stop, watch, trust the 10 seconds. Leikki, ulkoilu, sisu, play. Outside, fall down. These aren't Finnish secrets, they're human truths, and your child already knows how to do all 3. They're just waiting for you to step back. If this video made you think differently about what smart actually means, share it with a parent who needs to hear it. And if you want more on how the world's calmest, most resilient children are raised, subscribe. There's a lot more coming.